All glory is to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glory is to the assembled devotees.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. All glory is to the assembled devotees. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Narayana namaskritya narom chaivam narottamam Devim saraswati vyasam tato jayam gudirayat Nashtaprayesva bhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhavadutam shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya
Om Namo
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All
Exactly.
glories to Srila Prabhupada. Excuse me.
Below basic salvation.
So, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, which is entitled The Status Quo, Chapter 13, and this one we're doing text 27. Uchivta vala kachara katora sata vidunvan kararuma shatwak kurahata brasitadamshra iksha Yoti Baba se Bhagavan Mahidra Udshipta Bala Kakshara Katura Sata Vindunvan Kararu Mashatwak Kurahata Brasita Damshra Iksha Jyoti Baba se Bhagavan Mahidra Ukshipta Vala Chakara Katura Sata Vidunvan Kararu Mashatwa Kurahata Brasita Damshra Iksha Yoti Baba Se Bhagavan Mahitra. Hare Krishna. Please chant.
Hare Krishna. उत्क्षिप्ता भाला खचरा कठोरा शता विदुन्भान् खररोमा साता त्वाक खुराहतभ्रहासितदंष्ट्रवीक्षा ज्योतिर्बभाषे भगवान् महिदुरा. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Ukshiptabala kachara katora sata viduna van kararoma twak kora braha sitadam kshisa Jyotirbhavase Bhagavan Mahidra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Uchitvala Kacharaha Katoraha Satta Vidunavan Karom Shatvaka Rahata Prashitadam Sraiksha Jyotirbhavase Bhagavan Mahitra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
उत्क्षिप्तवाला खरा कठोरा सता विधुन्वन् खररोमशत्वक् खुराहता प्रसितदंश्र ईक्षा ज्योतिर्भभाषे भगवान् महित्रा.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, we can do word for word now. Ukshiptavala, slashing with the tail. Kachara, in the sky. Kathura, very hard. Sata, hairs on the shoulder. Vidunvan, quivering. Kara, sharp. Roma Satwa, skin full of hairs. Kurat Ahata, struck by the hooves. Abra, the clouds. Sitadamshtra, white tusks. Iksha, glance. Jyoti, luminous. Babhasi, began to emit an effulgence. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Mahidra, the supporter of the world. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, slashing his tail, his hard hairs quivering. His very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hoofs and his glittering white tusks. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. When the Lord is offered prayers by his devotees, his transcendental activities are described. Here are some of the transcendental features of Lord Boar. As the residents of the upper three planetary systems offered their prayers to the Lord, it is understood that his body expanded throughout the sky, beginning from the topmost planet Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. It is stated in the Brahma Samhita that his eyes are the sun and the moon. Therefore, his very glance over the sky was as illuminating as the sun or the moon. The Lord is described herein as Mahidra, which means either a big mountain or the, quote, sustainer of the earth, close quote. In other words, the Lord's body was as big and hard as the Himalayan mountains. Otherwise, how was it possible that he kept the entire earth on the support of his white tusks? The poet Jayadev, a great devotee of the Lord, has sung of the incident in his prayers for the incarnations. Vasati dasana sikari darani tabalagna, shasini kalanka kaleva nimagna, Keshavadita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. All glory to Lord Keshava, Krishna, who appeared as the boar. The earth was held between his tusks, which appeared like the scars on the moon. Om Gyanati Midandasya Gyana Gyana Shalakaya Chakshu Umbilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Siti Tanya Manubhistam Stapitam Jena Bhujale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadhatikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Vitapada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Scha. Sri Rupa Sagajatam Sagana Gunatam Vikantam Sajiva. Sadvaitam Savadutam Parajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam. Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitam Scha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Panamami Hari Priya. Vanchakalpadrubhischa Kripasindhi Eva Chapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Nirvishesha Sunnivari Pastantyari Sitayani. Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Padayati Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gurati Namaha. Anandali Maya Vigrahaya, Imabedi Vichavishindaraya, Tasmi Mahaprem Raspadaya, Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste, Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste, Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste, Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste. Hare Krishna. So, very nice passage here about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'll read the English translation again. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, slashing his tail, his hard hairs quivering. His very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky in his hoofs and his glittering white tusks. So he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hoofs and his glittering white tusks. Hare Krishna. So, in this particular pastime that the Lord was involved in, sometimes the pastime is pastime of bravery, sometimes pastime of having to kill enemies, they being enemies. Krishna doesn't have enemies, but sometimes they are enemy called Krishna. And sometimes in very wonderful, loving, intimate relationships, sometimes camaraderie. All types of relationships are there. Krishna is involved in all of them, and he's the ultimate for all of them. And the thing that is very fascinating is that when Krishna, for particular pastimes, appear in a certain form, that form is very, very striking. And his appearance is also unusual. So Lord Varaha, Lord Boar, no different in terms of Krishna's appearance and appearing in grand style or appearing in what even might bewilder, highly learned people, saints, demigods, and so on. So he is coming in this pastime as Lord Boar to rescue the earth. The earth is actually plunged to the bottom of the Black Ocean. And this has been caused by Hiranyaksha, the demon, the body-turned demon, actually. And so he's plunged the earth, taking advantage of the earth so much, digging gold and gold and gold, upsetting the balance of the earth and causing it to fall into the Gavadak Ocean. There was conversation before this, before Lord Varaha's appearance. So Lord Brahma was the one that was going through conversation with some of his sons. And in this 11th canto, the 11th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 13, talks more about the appearance. So, Lord Brahma, of course, we all know he's involved in creation. So he was telling Manu that he should actually also create progeny through his wife. And Manu was responding. This is Canto 11, chapter 13, and beginning from text 14 on. So Manu is saying, I shall abide by order, telling Lord Brahma, just let me know my place and that of the living entities born of me. So here is Manu obeying Lord Brahma, just like it's important for us to obey our spiritual masters. When we were little, of course, nobody's living now, but when we were very young, then, of course, the parents were the ones that were dictating what we should do. And if we obeyed them, then we were fine. And if we didn't, then, there was consequences. So Manu is strictly obedient. What Brahma had told him to do, he said he was going to do, and he just wanted to know. He said, let me know my place and that of the living entities born of me. What is my position? So in saying that, his next sentence, then he told Lord Brahma, Master of the demigods, O Master, please attempt to lift the earth, which is merged in the great water, because it is the dwelling place for all the living entities. And it can be done by your endeavor and by the mercy of the Lord. So actually, Manu, the one that noticed and told Lord Brahma that the earth had actually plunged down to the bottom of the Gavadak Ocean. And then so the request was given to Lord Brahma to try to do something about it. Mm. So this is Maitreya Muni telling Vidura this particular pastime. Mm. So Brahma then turned his attention to the earth. He saw that the earth was merged in the water, and Brahma thought about it for a long time, how the earth could be lifted. And Brahma thought, well, while I've been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by a deluge and it's gone down to the depths of the ocean. What can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. So basically, Brahma was thinking, but he, on the end of his thinking, too, he directed the solution to the Lord, to the Almighty Lord. And when he thought that way, then the Lord responded. And this is how the Lord decided then, after that Brahma had thought that way, therefore, the Lord decided to come in the form of a boar. But he came in a very small form right out of the nostril of Lord Brahma. And the Shastra says that the measurement of Lord Boa at that time was no more than the upper portion of a thumb. So he came as very little. But then Brahma started looking at him. Then the boar became situated in the sky in a wonderful manifestation as gigantic as a great elephant. So as soon as that happened, then everybody that saw Lord Boa was struck with wonder. This boar-like form in the sky. Brahma and the other great Brahmanas like Marichi, Kumaras, and Manu himself, they all began to debate this whole thing in different ways. Everybody's thinking, who is this? Who is this? And they're trying to give some kind of identity to Lord Boa. But they're all amazed and in some ways confused too. How? So they're thinking, is this some extraordinary entity come in the presence of a boy? That is not unusual. When Putana came to Gokul, dressed wonderfully like a very pretty woman, those in the house of Mother Yashoda thought that she was a demigoddess. So, of course, that was wrong. But initially, when somebody comes and is very striking, people will naturally begin to try to give some identity, assume some identity for that particular personality. So that's what's happening here also. So, Brahma actually wondered. He says, well, it is very wonderful that he has come from my nose. But again, they didn't know. First of all, the boar was no bigger than the tip of a thumb. But then within moments, he changed and became very huge. Then Lord Brahma began to think, is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu? Is he that? And while he started deliberating with his sons, then Lord Boa roared tumultuously like a great, great, great mountain. And then that's when they all began to put two and two together, we said in America. The omnipotent Supreme Personality of Godhead is the one. It has to be. And so he enlivened Brahman, all the highly elevated Brahmanas, by roaring again this uncommon voice. And it echoed in all directions. So this is his entrance. It was grand entrance. First, it was very inconspicuous. This came as a small creature from the nostrils of Lord Brahma. And then he became very huge. of course, he lifted the earth from, as they call the nether regions. It's part of the Gabadak Ocean. And so that's the white form. Hiranyaksha was killed by Lord Boa, but there's some in the Bhagavatam, some discussion about that because that was a red form. And there was a white form, Lord Boa, and then a red form of Lord Boa. So in white form, he rescued the earth. And when he rescued the earth, he also impregnated the earth. So now Mother Bhumi is considered an eternal consort of Lord Varaha. So the earth whose body we live on, she is very, very highly elevated. Since she's regarded as a consort of Lord Varaha, she practically is at the level of Lakshmi. Lord Varaha is not hard to figure that out. Lord Varaha is an incarnation of a Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, his consort is, just like we say, Narayan and Lakshmi. So Mother Bhumi is at that level. And in fact, Mother Bhumi constantly worships Lord Varaha. Where? Well, in this universe, it has coverings, 7 coverings. The first covering is the earth covering. And in that place, that's where it's described in the Shastra, that constant worship of Mother Bhumi to Lord Varaha goes on. So 2 things. That worship is going on, and the status of Mother Bhumi is that she is a consort of Lord Varaha. Of course, there will be more details about it as we go on with the other texts. So the grand entrance was wonderful by the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. It's not the only one where he really gave a grand entrance. Even in chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita, which is entitled The Universal Form, Arjuna requested that particular form. He was telling Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra before the war started, if you think that I'm able to behold your cosmic form, this is text 4 of chapter 11, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. Then immediately, Supreme Personality of Godhead responded, my dear Arjuna, O son of Prita, see now my opulences, hundreds and thousands of divine and multicolored forms. Now, one of the things that stand out, one that stands out of this is we look at both pastimes, the appearance of Lord Boa. How? Well, there's a situation that's happened. The earth is at the bottom of the Gabadak Ocean, caused by Hiranyaksha. It was Lord Brahma that was thinking about how to get the earth out. Then he also thought maybe that's something for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, to undertake. And immediately he thought that way, the Lord came as Lord Varaha. In the case of Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna requested that the Lord showed himself in that particular form, the universal form, or you call it the unlimited universal self, then the Lord immediately obliged. So the conclusion from this, at least a short conclusion, is when we think about the Lord and we think about how things can be done by the Lord, especially if it's beyond our ability, as long as we are totally surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there will be something done about it by the Supreme Lord. So the relation is always there. The relation is give and take. When we serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead without any reservation, unfailing in all circumstances, Bhakti Yogena Sevate. Then we come to the Brahma Bhuta platform. Lord Brahma was at the Brahma Bhuta platform. Arjuna was at the Brahma Bhuta platform. So when they serve the Lord, then also things that they even think about that the Lord should do for whatever reason That reason is usually from the super soul in the heart of these entities who inspires that happens. So it's still the Lord that's making it happen. Mm. He's the cause of all causes, so he's behind things that happen. But it's wonderful. Mm. Anyway, so for the universal form, Krishna told Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you want to see in the future. Whatever you want to see now and what you want to see in the future. So the present and the future were all in the universal form. Moving and non-moving, they are all here in one place. But then he said, you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I have to give you divine eyes. And he did that immediately. Hmm? So Arjuna then saw the universal form, unlimited mouth, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. Hmm? So many celestial ornaments decorating the body, and many divine upraised weapons, celestial garlands, celestial garments, many divine scents smeared all over the body. All was very wondrous, it is brilliant and unlimited and all expanding. Hmm? So Bhagavad Gita tries to put a little bit of comparison so we can kind of have our minds blown by it too, in one sense. So in text 12, it says, if hundreds of suns were to rise at once in the sky, hundreds of thousands of suns, not hundreds, hundreds of thousands of sun. Now, one sun that we have in this particular universe, very brilliant. No light comes close to the light of this one sun. Soon as it comes out, everything can be seen clearly. And there is no other light that is all pervading like that. But if hundreds of thousands of such suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might get close to the effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he was absolutely brilliant beyond compare. So Arjuna then, he could see the universal form in this unlimited expansion of the universe, situated in one place. Although at the same time divided into many, many, many thousands. Then he began to pray to the Lord. He said, my dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in the body all the various demigods and living entities. I see Brahma sitting on a lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and the divine serpents. So they were all in the body of Supreme Personality of Godhead as the universal form. And Arjuna was seeing this and describing it. There is a popular movement now, not movement in terms of a society, but a popular trend going on. And many people are thinking, and of course this is Kali Yuga, so you should be surprised to see this or hear this. People are trying to give Shiva a higher position than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. First of all, in our 10 offenses, the second offense is to put Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva at the same level as Lord Vishnu, or even think that Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are independent of Lord Vishnu. They all depend on Lord Vishnu. They all depend on Lord Vishnu. And that includes Lord Shiva also. There is not so much talk about Brahma's position, but Shiva is being pushed like anything in this Kali Yuga. And all kinds of fake reports are being put, giving Shiva. And I'm saying this because there are some people who come, and don't be surprised, there are people who come into this movement and they are very interested in finding out whatever they can find about the Vedas. And they can easily be misled into thinking that Lord Shiva is, the most supreme. I have heard stories that are, and they put it all on YouTube, and it's just disgusting to even have to even repeat it. Lord Shiva, there was one devotee that came that also started reading everything and hearing everything that he could. So I had to kind of help him out. Hmm? Lord Shiva is in meditation. Lord Shiva is in meditation. I told you Lord Shiva, yes, Lord Shiva is in meditation. You're meditating on who? If you're in meditation, you're looking to somebody that is superior to you, that you're meditating on. So Lord Shiva had to be meditating. If he's meditating, then there's a superior power to him, somebody he's looking up to. Krishna doesn't meditate like that. He's just having pastimes. But Lord Shiva meditates, Lord Brahma meditated when Lord Vishnu told him, perform tapa. He did. So clearly, even from meditation alone, it shows that there's one superior to both Brahma and Shiva. And Srila Prabhupada made it very simple, putting it in the second of the 10 offenses. We should not think of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma at the same level as Lord Vishnu, who himself is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna. Anyway, so to the universal form, Arjuna described many, many arms and bellies and mouths and eyes expanded everywhere. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning. He says your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence. And the blaze, it's like blazing fire or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see in this glowing form everywhere adorned with crowns, clubs, and discs. So then Arjuna began to put things in perspective, and that's good for all of us to know. In text 18, you are the supreme primal objective. You are the supreme primal objective. That sentence alone describes what all persons in all souls in human bodies should be about. We should seek the mercy of the one through whom existence literally can be used. Without Krishna, the word existence can not even be used because everything material and spiritual is from him. So he is the supreme primal objective. He is the ultimate resting place for all this universe. You are Arjun, you are inexhaustible and you are the oldest, you are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. Wonderful, wonderful description by Arjun. And it also will make another point that this universal form was exhibited by Krishna. There is nowhere in the Shastra that says Brahma is exhibiting a universal form, but Brahma actually appeared as part of the universal form. Same is also for Shiva. No universal form from Shiva. But there's universal form from Krishna that Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are part of. Therefore, Krishna is supreme. And they are dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So, Arjun says, please tell me who you are. And now he wanted to know. Just like in the case of Lord Varaha, Lord Brahma, Manu, and the other Marichi, they all wanted to know who the Lord was. So Arjuna also asked, please tell me who you are. Lord of Lords, offer my obeisances to you, and please be gracious to me. I want to know about you because I don't know what your mission is. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead responded. He says, time I am the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people. And with the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. So the Lord Varaha appeared as a boy incarnation, and Brahma noticed the earth having sunk into the depths of the Gavadak Ocean while in the process of creation. And his appearance was grand and bewildering. In like manner, the universal form appeared, the Lord appeared in that form, so that no one could claim to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead without being able to do the same. In fact, in here, as members of this international society, we are told that if anyone claims to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, first of all, if you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead, something about you has been written in the Shastra. So if the Shastra does not confirm that, then we have to suspect that the person is not really being genuine. He's dishonest. But the short one, you can't even go to the scriptures. You can just say, with all due respect, please show your universal form. And they should be able to show it immediately, just like, and not only that, you should also be given the divine eyes to see it. Hmm? He should be able to provide whoever is asked the divine eyes and be able to show his universal form right away. Anything that is said as response outside of showing the universal form, that person is not Krishna. That person is not an incarnation of a Supreme Personality of God. They're not. Hmm? Nobody can show this form, not Lord Shiva, not Lord Brahma, even though some people want to compare these to Lord Krishna. Hmm? And even sometimes downplay Lord's dominant potency. Hmm? So the Lord is superior to any and everyone. And sometimes people just say all kinds of crazy things, and that's why the Lord says in chapter 9, text 11, Avajananti Mamuda Manusim Tanu Ashritam. Parambavam Ajananto Mama Bhuta Maheshwara. He says, fools deride me when I descend in my human form. There are people who are crazy. And they want to give all kinds of descriptions. This is going on, and of course, in this Kali Yuga, it's only going to increase because confusion is more and more prevalent since people are, as it says in the Bhagavad Gita, as Srimad Bhagavatam, going after the fourth leg of the personality of Dharma. Truth. Austerity, many people don't involve themselves in. Many people aren't clean. They don't even take a bath sometimes for days. They don't take a bath. People aren't merciful. They're hateful. They gossip. They do all kinds of crazy things. And now truth is also being challenged. And it's being challenged with dishonesty. And that's why we have to be careful. And Krishna came right out and says, fools laugh at me. They deride me. They mock me when I descend looking like a human being. They don't know my transcendental nature as the supreme Lord of all that be. And that is the final statement. They don't know my transcendental nature. He's transcendental. He's the supreme Lord of all that be. So we must have no doubt that Krishna is superior to everyone. As we said earlier, Lord Shiva doesn't have a universal form, although his followers are trying to play him up compared to Krishna. That especially is going on. Shaivites. And so many people just putting one after another videos, and they make up stories. I have heard some that it's just, I don't even want to talk about it, but it just makes no sense at all. Nowhere in the Shastra is something like that. They make it up, but they just want to play up Lord Shiva. Only because Lord Shiva would give them material things, and they are after material things. And since Lord Shiva, you pray to him, do puja to him, it is likely you will get these material things that are only temporary. As Krishna describes, Yehi samspasa jaboga dukayunani ebate. Adyanta vanta konteya nati shuramate buddha. An intelligent person is not crazy about going for temporary things. Whatever we get, we're going to die, we're going to leave it. We die is no longer ours. We thought it was ours, but actually it wasn't even ours because we weren't born with it. And when we die, whatever it is that is material that we acquired, we can't keep it. And that's the way it is. In my own material family, there are two older women in their 80s that left their body like 2 weeks apart from each other. One left 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, the other one left a week ago. Mm. And they all have houses and they all have all of these things. So we're now dealing with, of course, the burial situation. They were in the Christian religion, therefore they're not going to be cremated. They're going to be buried, and so many arrangements are now being made. But there's also quite a few properties that they've left. Each one of them had a house. So now they have to decide what to do. But the thing is, they don't own those houses anymore because they've left their bodies. For us, we don't get attached to anything material. We shouldn't, because our home is in the spiritual world. Far better, no anxiety, and this is what we should look forward to. And Srila Prabhupada, by his mercy, has given us opportunity to prepare to go to the best planet bar none in existence. Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavan. There's so much talked about in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Gopakumara was describing. You won't have time to go through it. But it is absolutely fascinating, wonderful planet that it is the best thing to do for your own self to prepare to go to that place. There are other planets, even in the spiritual world, the Vaikuntha Lokas, do not compare. They don't compare in terms of just what is there in Krishna Loka and the relationships that are also there. Of course, there's no anxiety anywhere in the spiritual world. Vaikuntha Lokas or this particular planet, Krishna Loka. But it's even said in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, I'll say just one thing, that the residents in Krishna Loka are actually the most gorgeous, even compared to residents who are in the other Vaikuntha planets. Everybody looks good, wonderful, gorgeous, but they're great. And those in Krishna Loka are the most good looking. Bhagavatamrita Gopakumara confirmed that. So we got the opportunity to go to the best situation for ourselves if we just take on the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and our gurus, disciples of his, and Lord Chaitanya to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We have a wonderful opportunity waiting for us. And the Lord has given us so much mercy that there really isn't much to do compared to what's waiting for us. It's almost like somebody's spending effort to do $1 worth of work and getting $10 million back. If you can even make that kind of comparison. It's even better than that. Very little effort on our part. So we should never complain about anything that we're doing. We should actually feel fortunate that we're connected to this and go after devotional service with everything that we got. Everything that we got. Every single activity that we do in devotional service, especially in the temple, whose business is 100% Krishna consciousness, Krishna activities. Everything that we do, we should have the consciousness that I am so fortunate to be given the opportunity to do this service. That's the mentality we should have. And with that mentality, then the Lord will give us mercy. And then we'll have an opportunity to go back to Godhead. And the Lord also is very merciful, therefore he's expecting, since he is in fact the Aham Bijapadapita, he's the father of all living entities. He wants everyone to get opportunity to go back. The opportunity is there, but we should help. He likes his devotees to be helping in what he wants achieved. People turning their minds towards Krishna. So I'll say a little bit in the next 5 minutes or so. It's Radhastami, Krishna's eternal consort, Srimati Radharani. So I know there will be, of course, some wonderful, there will be in Harrisburg and Philadelphia also. I'm sure things are planned for that. Srimati Radharani eternal consort, and the gopis are from Srimati Radharani. We'll talk a little bit about maybe one pastime of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The whole relation between Radha and Krishna, very sweet, and sometimes, and it's I would describe it in simple terms as sweet and also spicy. Hmm. Because Krishna likes to make things spicy in a manner of speaking. Hmm? So then the whole process of one pastime after another becomes very important and very, very, very wonderful to behold. So one of them involved Radha, Krishna, cowherd boys, Jatila and Kutila, Abhimanyu. Hmm. So that's quite a few players, and Krishna himself in this particular pastime. So Abhimanyu is as Maguru Maharaj likes, the so-called husband of Radha, and Abhimanyu's family members, mother and sister, Jatila and Kutila. So in this pastime, in the village that they were living, Abhimanyu decided to go get some cows. So he went to the place, in the marketplace where cows were. He wanted to look at the condition of the cows and choose the cows that he wanted, and then, of course, buy them. Now, because of this arranged marriage between Radha and Abhimanyu, Abhimanyu and Radha were together at that time. So when he went to the marketplace, Abhimanyu went to the marketplace, Radharani was also there. Krishna wanted to have pastimes with Radharani, but Radharani was with Abhimanyu, and Jatila and Kutila were all there. So Krishna got wind of the fact that this is what Abhimanyu was planning on doing. So Krishna, and his cowherd boys hatched a plot somehow to get Srimati Radharani. So Abhimanyu went to the marketplace, chose the cows that he wanted, and then he decided to go back home to get the money after he negotiated how much it would cost to buy those cows. He was going to get the money, come back, and buy the cows. It was not a long walking distance, not at all. So Abhimanyu returned home. And that's when Krishna's plan sprung into place. Through the cowherd boys, it was spread in the area where they were in the marketplace that Krishna is coming to the village, coming to the marketplace dressed like Abhimanyu. And he's coming to take Radharani away. So this is the news that the cowherd boys spread. And Krishna, he didn't come right away. The news got spread, and Jatila and Kutila heard about it. Now, Abhimanyu was not there. Abhimanyu had gone home at that time to get money to come buy the cows. And this news gets spread, and it goes very quickly. And, Krishna is going to be coming disguised like Abhimanyu. Jatila and Kutila heard it and said, yeah, it's not going to happen. He has to go through us first for that to happen. In the meantime, Abhimanyu goes home, collects the money, comes back, and when he gets to the gate that opens into the market, Jatila and Kutila are standing there. Abhimanyu came, smiles at them. They're looking at him like, what do you want here? Abhimanyu is surprised. And his sister and his mother, Jatila and Kutila, tell him, you're not allowed in here. You can't come in here to the marketplace. Abhimanyu says, why? Jatila and Kutila said, we know who you are. We know who you are. No, you're not allowed. Abhimanyu said, what are you talking about? They said, you're Krishna. You're Krishna. Dressed like Abhimanyu. Come into this time. You want to take Radharani? No, you're not allowed. Abhimanyu said, I'm not. Whatever he said, Jatila and Kutila would not believe it. So finally, they kicked the poor guy out. They didn't allow him in the marketplace. So Abhimanyu is with the money. He can't come into the marketplace. He's been kicked out by his own relatives. And so he leaves. And right after that, Krishna comes to the gate, dressed like Abhimanyu, disguised like Abhimanyu. And when he got to the gate, somehow Jatila and Katina thought that was a real Abhimanyu. So then they let him in, even though that was Krishna. And so Krishna got into the market dressed like Abhimanyu. And of course, everybody thinks he's Abhimanyu, so he can walk right through Radharani, no problem. Hmm? So then Krishna, dressed like Abhimanyu, everybody thinking that was Abhimanyu, then went to Radharani, and got Radha. Radha followed Krishna. And then they asked Jatila and Kutila, and because Krishna is expert, so he can speak in Abhimanyu's tone of voice easily, asked him, Jatila and Kutila, we would like to spend some time in the temple this evening. Jatila and Kutila said, oh, absolutely. Go worship. So then Krishna, dressed like Abhimanyu, leaves with Radharani, and they spend the night, good part of the night, in the temple. And Abhimanyu got food. So this is anyway a short pastime of the Supreme Personality of God. One of the there's so many other stories. But I just thought I would just throw this one in. So yeah, this is a wonderful time to celebrate Radhastami. And of course, the Lord comes in so many different forms, especially the Varaha form that we talked about in the Srimad Bhagavatam this time. So with Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we're now hearing about all of these pastimes. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I'll stop here. You have questions and or realizations that you would like to share or take home that you would like to repeat for this, please go ahead and unmute yourself. Hare Krishna. So any questions or comments?
If anybody has questions, realizations, please just unmute yourself. Mother Vindyavali.
Just thanks to the nice class, Prabhu.
Krishna's mercy, Guruji.
As usual, you get a lot of interesting things when you give class.
Krishna's mercy. My Guru's
Today
mercy.
we are listening to the Abhimanyu and the buying the cows. Krishna's it was very good. See, a lot of stories, Krishna's, very, very nice to hear all the time. It's never ending.
And that's the best part of it. It's never ending.
Yeah. So that was beautiful. Thank you very much, Prabhu. It was a nice class. And all the stories and the way the board did, how ferocious he was in the sky. Imagination itself is very, means how he was separating the cows with his tusks like that.
Yeah, the clouds, yeah.
So, imagination itself is very nice. Very scary and nice.
The pastimes of Krishna are so nice that when you really get into it, you wouldn't want to hear any news anywhere else or anything that's happening on everything else is mundane. Yeah. Only the pastimes, the transcendental pastimes, wonderful.
He came like a thumb size from Brahma's nostril, but he was so big and ferocious like that. And he could go into the ocean and get the earth itself he was holding with his tusk.
Yeah.
That is unimaginable.
Yeah, the Lord is wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. And it is his incarnation, Ananta Shesh, the universes are right on his head. So this is sometimes it's just overwhelming to our minds. Try to even imagine that. Too overwhelming to our minds. But it is very much, as it's described in Garga Samhita, those in the spiritual world, they see Brahmas being born and leaving just like little bubbles in the ocean. The bubbles is and they're gone. But we're talking about trillions of years here.
Yeah.
But those in the spiritual world see it like that. Hmm? So yeah, it is a very, very different situation, and this is our home, and we are being prepped to go to the best planet there is, even in the spiritual world.
Yeah.
Life in the Vaikuntha planet is wonderful. Nobody should downplay that. It's very, very wonderful. Even the Vaikuntha planets, they're very satisfied. Mm? No anxiety. Everything is provided, and there's so much access to wealth. So much. Mm?
Yeah.
We are poor compared to the way they live. Even the richest person here is poor compared to the way they live. Mm? And then even go up steps higher than that. Better relationships, better surroundings. It's just hard to imagine. And this is Krishna Loka, even higher. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Happy Radhashmi.
Jai, same to you and to everybody. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Any comment? The other comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Nice class. I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
The earth was drowned by Hiranyaksh before Lord Varaha came to pick it up. And was he born before anyone else? Hiranyaksh. Is it related to this story?
Yeah, yes, it is related to the story. Hiranyaksha was the one that was. There was two brothers, Jai and Vijay, that they came from the spiritual world. Yeah, when the Lord wanted to sport into the Jai and Vijay decided that they would actually be taking these kind of bodies to fight the Lord because the Lord wanted to sport. And this is how it started. So he decided to come as three lifetimes as demons. Because the demons are the ones that are hateful. The Lord, to devotees, they love him, but the demons are always ready to fight him. And so yeah, that was the first one in the Satya Yuga that Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they came. They were born. They were born Aditi. So Hiranyaksha was the one that started going after the gold on the earth, from the earth, digging so much. He's a huge demon. So that's what caused the earth to go in the bottom of the ocean. And then the Lord Brahma was prompted by Manu that this is what has happened to the Lord. And then when he deliberated how to get the earth from the bottom of the Gavadak Ocean, then he thought that maybe that's for the Supreme Lord Vishnu to do. And that's when Lord Brahma thought that way, then Lord Varaha came as a small, looked like an insect, very small from the nostril, and expanded. The Lord comes in the own,
always
yeah, in unusual ways. He always comes in unusual ways.
Swambhu Manu, he was responsible for creating the living entities. So Hiranyaksha was already there before he was created before anyone else?
No, well, see, Hiranyaksha came from Diti and Kashyapa Muni. So Diti and Kashyapa had already been, as from Lord Brahma. Kashyapa is son of Lord Brahma. So they were already living at that time. Before the pastime also unfolded, and then of course the pastime for the Lord desiring to fight, and therefore this pregnancy was induced by Diti asking for her husband Kashyapa Muni to impregnate her, but at the time that was inauspicious, and that's how she gave birth to Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So yeah, Manu was there, Brahma was there. All that time they were already.
They were already
living.
there.
Yeah,
Kashyap
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So I was confused here. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for a nice class and very inspiring class to do more bhakti.
Absolutely, we have to do more bhakti. And I'm going to put it out. We'll be crazy not to do bhakti. After all that we know. What else do you want? Stock market, what's it going to do for you?
I know.
Yeah. When
We
we do
will be
bhakti.
crazy. We get an opportunity to go to the best planet in existence, and we're not going to do what we're supposed to do. How crazy can we be?
As soon as we take interest in other things, I find that our mind becomes contaminated, and we don't focus over our bhakti. Still,
Yeah, and that's the Lord's mercy. That is the Lord's mercy to direct us. To direct us.
Yeah.
For everybody, there's a way to even prompt us when we're doing something wrong. I know that in my life personally, yeah. That even something that I did when I didn't realize that even that was wrong. There's a way that you'll be prompted. Yeah, make an adjustment here, make an adjustment. You didn't think through this properly. You get that practically all. Every now and then I get that. It's okay, we have to make an adjustment.
We should be thankful to Krishna at the fag end of life. At least we are realizing that this is not the thing where we need to do. We need to go to spiritual way.
Yeah.
At the fag end of life, our life, we are realizing that itself is God's help.
Grace, yeah.
It's grace.
Absolutely.
I always thankful whatever sins I must have done, knowingly, unknowingly. But at this age, I am just realizing that these are the things I missed already. Now I have to relish this and then know this and behave good. Behave good.
Yeah, the great thing about when you get older and also increase the consciousness, you can look back in your whole life and you realize the best thing that happened in my life is actually increase the consciousness.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yes.
I've tried it all.
Yeah.
I've tried it all. For personally, I went to school, got a PhD, being a professor, and I'm looking and saying, none of them is important as increase the consciousness without a doubt. Shadow of a doubt, my life. That's the best thing that happened to me.
That is the very best thing.
You should do the best use of
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
And thank you for
nice
your
class.
thank you for the Radharani story. I heard it from you before also, but every time we hear it, it sounds like sounds good.
Krishna's funny. He's humorous. He's everything. So compassionate, humorous, merciful, loving.
Listening to these stories, we won't get tired.
Never.
Fun is so juicy, so we would like to listen to all the time.
Yeah, yeah. This is one I thought that this is because the text was one, but I'd really like to hear and even talk about different stories about Supreme
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I also want to make a sweet announcement. Our dear Vatsala is now Vani Seva Devi Dasi.
Oh, Switcher Master?
His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a nice thing.
Yeah,
What is the name? What is the name given?
Vani Seva Devi Dasi.
Vani Seva.
Devi Dasi.
Yes.
Nice, nice. When did the initiation happen?
Literally like a half an hour ago or so.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yes.
Vani Seva Devi Dasi. And that's who again? Which Mataji?
Vatsala Mataji.
Oh, Vatsala Mataji. Okay. I better put it down.
No more Vatsala.
Yeah, no more Vatsala. Vani Seva Devi Dasi. Okay.
Vahini Devadasi.
Vani Seva.
Vani Seva Dasi.
Nice.
Yeah.
Vani means sweet.
I want to write it down. If you don't mind, I'm just going to put it down quickly so I don't forget. Vatsala Mataji is Vani Seva.
David.
Okay, DD. All right. Got it down. Next time I put it twice.
Well, if we can all just say the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for her so that, her spiritual journey really takes off.
Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Jai. Shira Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Okay, so have a wonderful, happy Radhastami for everybody. Hare Krishna.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां
पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो
नमो
नमः।
नमः।